So another quick one before we start. The display packed up on my stereo system in the car, which is a very nice sound. And because the battery went flat, I had to put a code in to start it back up again when I came back, which obviously I couldn't do because I had no display. I had the code, but that was it. So I went to my mate's place, Richard, yesterday. We had a look, we couldn't figure it out. So he went online, found exactly the same one, worked out exactly where the numbers would be and everything. Basically it was press the RDS and scan, hold it for 3 seconds, press that one so many times, that one so many times, and so on to that one there. And lo and behold, it works. I won't play out too much because of copyright and all that, but you'll get the message. So yeah, that was Lily Allen. I do apologise, Lily. I don't know how that works with copyright, but very quick then, just to show you how it is working again. So yeah, I'm really happy. The radio I think is working. Let's try that. Yeah, the radio's working, so that's good. So I've got my stereo up and running again, thanks to my mate Richard, who spent some time on the computer last night when I left his place. So yeah, so here we go. Let's get this tent up. The wind has almost disappeared, not quite, but almost disappeared. It's bitter cold out there. Let me just turn the ignition on and tell me what the temperature is. Well, it says it's actually 9.5. It feels colder than that. So 9.5 degrees. You've got to imagine that I left the Philippines and it was in the high 30s, low 40s. So this is taking some getting used to. It was colder than that actually when I got to Heathrow. But yeah, so it went up to 14, I think it was yesterday, or 15. That's about the warmest I've seen it so far. But of course the wind and the rain and everything. So now I think what's happened is the wind has subsided. Apparently they're coming back again tomorrow. So this tent needs to go up. So let's go. As always, there seems to be no instructions. All I've got is that the way it looks. I've looked inside the bag, there's no instructions. So there's my tent poles. I'm not sure what the legs in. They do feel a bit stronger than the other ones I had with the other tent. That's a good start, I suppose. Now what's that? Is that like a ground sheet? What do I put down first? It doesn't tell me anywhere. I think that's the main top of the tent. What's this? Ah, that will be the bedrooms. So that's my bedrooms, I'm pretty certain about that. That over there for now. It's blown around. See, it's typical because the wind's picking up already. So I won't be able to film much of this because obviously I've got both cameras, both phones in one hand. So let's just have a quick look. This is not going to be easy, is it? Nice bright side road, so that's good. Imagine that's do you know what? I'm going to face the front to the front of that one so I can carry everything just simply across. I think that makes sense, doesn't it? Just trying to get it. That's the flattest bit of ground. So this isn't that flat. I think I'm going to have to go a bit further this way. Let's open it up and see what we have to do. I'm a bit concerned. The wind's picking up again, so it would do, isn't it? It's not easy. This is going to be another nightmare of a day for me. How am I to do this on my own? I do not know. But I have to have a go. Sure, that seems a huge entrance there. That cannot be right. I think it's got a separate. Do you know what? I think it's got a separate ground sheet, which I'd probably have to put down first by the looks of this. I thought it was a sewn in ground sheet, but it's definitely not. According to the pictures, it really is a sewn in ground sheet, but it's not. So this is obviously my ground sheet. I had a sneaky feeling. Let's get this open. And imagine. No. That's one of the bedrooms. Oh my god. So, where's the ground sheet? This is not this is not going to be good, is it? Imagine. Is that the ground sheet? Let me just put you down a second. Yes, that's the ground sheet, definitely, and the other pieces are the 2 bedrooms, but there's no way to peg the ground sheet down first for the tent has to go up first. So it's a case of the poles, pegs, and where's my torch on again? It's not according to that. I have no idea what's going on with my phone, it's shining a torch at the same time. Right, I'm going to have to let you know when I've done a bit more. The main, it's all colour coded, so you've got the main poles straight through the middle. They only connect to the tent there, and then there are hooks on the side of the tent down both sides. Here you've got your bedroom ones on both sides. Again, there are plastic hooks, I'd imagine, for those to connect to as well. So really now, in theory, let me just look at the other side a second. I'm still lucky with the wind. Let me get this half a tree out of blinking way. Yeah, it's the same as a lot of tents nowadays. They've got this system here, so that goes up into the end of the pole and makes it more rigid. So I need to get the pegs ready because it's windy and I'm on my own. So let me see how I get on. These pegs are certainly a lot better than the ones the other tent came with, a lot stronger. Of course, I've still got the more robust ones that I borrowed from the landlord. I might use some of those at a later point, but let's get it up first. Well, I've been at it roughly now 20 minutes. It's a difficult one. Get in there. I've realised these hook into there somehow. I'll go to the other side and try that. So I've been at this now nearly an hour. I've really sussed this out. So there's the ground sheet going in there. I thought it was a Sony ground sheet, but it's not. This one fits in there, which I'm not happy about. But beggars can't be choosers. I'll show that in a minute. That's sort of, so it'll be a bit more secure than last time with the other tent. So they go on these toggles there on each corner. Yeah, colour coded again. Everything's really simple because everything's colour coded, and you've got red ones down in there. So that's the first bedroom. That's the first bedroom up. So I'm happy with that. I'm going to zip that up now. Zipping from the bottom as well, always helps. Hang on a sec, bear with me. Well, that's something you're going to do with 2 hands, but you get the gist. Oh, hang on. Well, it's nearly zipped up. It's just something you need to do with 2 hands. I've got the phone in my hand, so that's not happening. So, next stage, let's put the bedroom over in there. If there was a sewn-in ground sheet, I honestly wouldn't bother because it would be easy to store things and use cooking stuff there and everything. But because there isn't a sewn-in ground sheet and I want to keep things dry and safe and so on, I'm going to have to put that bedroom in as well. But you can imagine if there was a sewn-in ground sheet, that would be just a perfect extra living area, wouldn't it? Wouldn't need, and because it's just me, I don't need 2 bedrooms really. That's a pity. I really thought it was a sewn-in ground sheet, but I'm sure I know a lot of the good tents aren't, funny enough. So once I've got that in, then the ground sheet clips in, and then slowly but surely I can start taking things out of that tent and dismantling that tent. But it'll be a bit of coffee first. The first thing I'm going to do is bring the table and stove and everything in here and have a cup of coffee. Now, as far as I'm aware, let's see if I put that right. Yeah, these are quite hazardous to put in, and they only sort of push in there. I'm going to have to double check I've got all those, and you've got these all the way round to keep it really nice and cool. I've never had a tent, to be honest, so far, that good. I'm very happy with it, apart from the ground sheet business, but you know, can't have everything, can you? Right, let's carry on. So we're done. A couple of issues, I'd say, with the ground sheet, but it's got like trench effect all the way around. If you look at that, it's Velcro to there and there. The cat is on there, so it does go up on the side. It's got that in the middle. You see that? So that means the tent's not perfectly square. Which probably means this is going to have to come out a bit and move 1 or 2 inches that way. I'm not so sure. I might have a go later. I'm not sure because that. Look how taut that is. and that one isn't. I know it's not done up properly again, but still. This one just seems to be a better fit altogether. So it could mean, actually, that corner down there needs adjusting to go away to get rid of that crease. We'll have to see. So, I've now got to go and face it. Everything in there is soaking wet, blowing around all over the place. My first protocol is to see if I can get the table nice and dry. It's only a small table. I don't want anything big in there anyway, so, but I do need a better table. But at the moment there's like a small table, and then my friend let me, so I'm hoping that's dry. I know it's going to fly in, like everything else. Get it in here and make myself a cup of coffee. In the caravan this morning I did make myself a bacon butty, which is nice. I don't think I can go cooking bacon that in there because it's not ventilated properly, so it's still going to have to be done outside, which is what I was trying to avoid. That's the reason for the big tent in the first place. But that's not the end of the world. Once I've saved a bit of money, I will buy some kind of extension to this. There are things you can buy on these. I bought this. It does look very rigid, doesn't it? Looks like really which was the side I was having trouble with. It's all colour coded. That's taken me an hour and 10 minutes. So I'm happy with it. I think it's still some strings on guide on the other side. And when I first put it up, it was too close to there, so I had to drag it along, which wasn't, I started to fold up again, but I got there. So, time for a coffee. So, that's the tent up. I'm pretty exhausted. The other tent is now empty, but I've got stuff all around the place, hanging on trees, hanging on fences, trying to dry it. It's also soaking wet. Also got stuff out there. It's going to be dry. The suitcase is going to be dry because it's not too bad on the inside, but on the outside it's wet underneath, so that's going to be dry before I can bring that in. So that bedroom there, I think is going to be my storage. That bedroom there is going to be my bedroom, because it seems to be more secure. My problem being now is I've got a double mattress. A proper one, not an air bed, a proper bed, house bed mattress. I have got a sneaky feeling it might not fit in these bedrooms. It should do. I've measured in my head, so it should do, but I have a sneaky feeling it won't. And if it does, it's going to take the whole space up, which is okay. That's not the end of the world. I will eventually be looking at to get a single proper mattress and put something underneath it, some kind of framework underneath it. I don't know how. A couple of pallets or something, but I don't want the pallets to rip obviously the tent, so that there'll be some matting down and whatever to secure that. But that's in the future. Thought about this last year, never got round to it, but that was a different tent altogether. It probably wouldn't have worked anyway. But that tent was just one bedroom, and that was it, if you remember. There was nothing else. The double mattress in there, and I had a bit of room for my suitcase and some clothes, and that was it. All the cooking, if you remember, was done outside under the gazebo. So yeah, the gazebo I don't have anymore. That's the storms we had towards the end of last season sorted that out, buckled it in all sorts of places. So, which is what's happened to the other new tent that I had sent you through Amazon. Won't be doing that again. So it's too wet to go and get the mattress from up the barn. It does look nice and dry, but it's just too wet. And I'm going to get the car up there, and the car probably won't get up there because the field's too wet. So obviously it's a big double mattress, can't carry that all the way down here. It's just too clumsy. The weight's okay, it's just too clumsy, you can imagine. So, and if it touches the grass, the wet grass just once, then that's it really, isn't it? It'll soak in, so I've got to avoid that. So that's going to be quite a few days, I imagine. So my landlord has been very good to lend me a double airbed flocked. So I've got to go to town. I used to have a pump for those, but I don't seem to be able to find that. But they're easy enough to find. Any sort of supermarket or whatever, I'll find one of those. I won't go to a camping store because it'll be 30 quid for something I'm going to use once, so I think. So if I go and buy one for a fiver that you just pump up by hand or whatever, that'll be fine. Yeah, so I'm going to now make myself a cup of coffee. I'm a little bit exhausted. I started this morning, I was up at 6 o'clock, realised that the rain had stopped and the wind had dropped, and that was the time to do the tent, so that's what I've done. Anyway, I'm going to crack on now so I can have my coffee. I've taken everything out of the suitcase, which got absolutely drenched because in the panic of getting out of it last night, I forgot to close the suitcase and everything got soaked, wringing wet. They were damp anyway, but so that's all going to go to the launderettes this afternoon again. So that's another 10 quid to wash and dry that. It all mounts up, doesn't it? But it's got to be done. So yeah, I did myself a nice breakfast this morning. I bought some cooking bacon, which is always very cheap, but it fries like normal bacon. It tastes very good, so I did that as a bacon butty. Very nice. So a cup of coffee now, and so that's the end of this video. As you can see, I've got the tent up. I'm a happy boy for once. Probably I'm the most relieved since I've been back, even with problems like there's no sewn in ground sheet, but I can work around that. Yeah, so everybody take care. Thanks for watching. It's a bit of a chaotic video this time, but I hope you enjoyed it, and speak to you soon. Bye for now. Oh, don't know if you can hear me, the wind's picking up again, but basically that was the make of the tent I had sent you. That's the company. Big mistake. I'm not sure how successful the company is or how big the company is, but that tent was basically a non-starter. It's now filthy dirty, soaking wet. I've got nowhere to dry it out. I'm just going to pack it into this bag now, and wait for a day when I can just spread it out again and let it dry, maybe wash it down a bit and send it back, or send it back as it is, because it's really not my problem, is it? I can show you now, even the poles, the tent poles, after 4 nights, okay, and this should not happen, trust me. They are rusting, you know. If that happens after 3 or 4 years, you can understand it, even the quality ones, you know. You've got to keep them nice and dry and wipe them down properly, but not after 4 nights. They should not be rusting at all. So as you can see, it's down. All the string around you that I've had to use extra is going to be picked up now. The heavy duty pegs that my landlord very kindly lent me, they can go back. The tent pegs on the new tent, they're just so more robust. They're stronger, they're thicker, they're longer. They're the way they should be. I know I've looked on the price tag of that tent, which I've got with me here, which I can show you now. So the original price, okay, was from $370 down to $184, okay. Now for whatever reason, I paid, I think it was 240 for it, or 230, something like that for it. So I've paid basically, what would that be? Another 50 quid extra. I'm not quite sure what that was about, but you can see there, that was wrapped away in the packaging, not where I could see it. So the tent's obviously been out of the bag once, and they've stuck that in there for whatever reason at Regatta in Hereford. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm very pleased with the tent. It looks really robust, but I don't like to be ripped off. Now 184 would have saved me, you know, 50 quid or something, or 40 quid, 50 quid, whatever it was. That makes a big difference to me. I get that that's the recommended trade price, but I don't suppose they ever had that, because it just says there now that. So that was probably, maybe I'm thinking at the end of last season, so they've still got it in stock. And yeah, there it is, you see, 184, and I think I paid 240 or 249 or 239, something like that. So I paid more, 50 plus pounds more. So that's not good, is it? But there you go, there's nothing I can do about that. Now it's paid for and I've got it. But I have got a good tent, so I am happy with that. It needs cleaning up inside now, because the rain started again, so I just pushed everything inside and closed the door and left it to it, and I've carried on in the drizzle and the rain with this tent now, because it's got to be done. I've got stuff drying everywhere. I've got my car now full I've used an old tent bag from an old tent as my carrier bag to put all my washing in, because suitcase was wet, so I couldn't take that in there. That's going to be dried out first. I've emptied the suitcase, put it all in like a tent holder, tent bag, that I don't use anymore for anything else, but I thought it would come in handy for something, and it has. So I've shoved all the washing in there. It's all soaking wet. I've got stuff on that hut down there, dry in a bit. Yeah, shirts here, shirts there, which I have to throw away. For drying the tent as best I could inside, and cleaning them muck off it on the outside. So I just throw those away. I've got plenty of t-shirts and shirts, that's not a problem. I think they're not salvageable anymore. Don't really want to take those into launderette and put that in with my other washing, so that's not going to happen. So there you go. That really is it now. Bye for now.